Hi there. You may have learned about direct and indirect variation in algebra. In this video, I want to show you how you can use the tools you have learned in algebra to apply to the SAT math problems. So, varying directly means A varies directly with B, means A is equal to a constant, which happens to be a slope, times B. In this first graph here, we have A plotted against B. And this is a graph that shows that A is varying directly with B, with the proportionality constant being the slope of the equation. So the equation for A varying directly with B turns out to be A is equal to a constant times B. When A is varying indirectly with B, A is varying indirectly with B, A plotted against 1 over B gives you a straight line. So here, A is varying indirectly with B, and the slope of the line again is the proportionality constant. So the equation can be created as A is equal to K times 1 over B, or A is equal to K over B. So you must remember this. Indirect variation, A is equal to K over B. Direct variation, A is equal to KB. There is one more, joint variation, and I should write the joint variation. When A varies jointly with B and C, you can say A varies jointly with B and C, and there'll be two separate graphs with the same proportionality constant, which is A is equal to K BC. It's easy to remember if you simply replace the proportional, the word proportional, with equals K. If you're looking for a quick and easy way to remember, anytime you see the word proportional, just simply replace it with equals K, and then you develop the equation as you read your question. Variation problems can be best handled by breaking your steps down into 4 categories. First, you read the question and write the equation using the definitions we've just learned. Then you want to read the question again and look to see what numbers are given and plug in the numbers that you are given into the equation. For the most part, they will not give you K and you'll have to calculate the K, but it could be that they've given you the K and you have to calculate another number, so be careful. Then you want to rewrite with K replacing the actual value for K, which you would have calculated. And finally, reread the question and answer the question. Let's go ahead and do a problem now. Okay, I want us to read this question together. The force required to stretch a spring beyond its natural length is proportional to how far the spring is being stretched. If a force of 15 pounds stretches a spring 8 centimeters beyond its natural length, what force in pounds is needed to stretch this spring 20 centimeters beyond its natural length? We have to break it down into steps. The first step is to understand and recognize that this is a variation problem. So write down the type of variation. It's a direct variation. So force varies directly with L. Replace the variation symbol with equals K. It turns out to be force is equal to KL. Third step, read the question and replace the numbers given. We are given 15 pounds of force stretches the spring 8 centimeters. So we know force and we know length. We can calculate K. K is 15 over 8. Leave it as 15 over 8. Don't pick up your calculator just yet. Read the question again. And first of all, before reading the question again, rewrite the equation with the actual numerical value of K here. So force is now equal to 15 over 8 times the length of the spring. Now read the question again and answer the question. The question is, what force, so we're looking for force, is needed to stretch the spring by 20 centimeters? So force is equal to 15 over 8 times 20, and the final answer is 37.5. Here's another question for you. You could choose to pause the video and try it on your own, or you can work with me. If the variable a varies directly as b and inversely as c, so just that alone is that piece there. A varies directly with b and inversely with c. And if a is 10x plus 5, c is 2, and b is 10. So first of all, before plugging in any numbers, we have to deal with the proportionality symbol by replacing it with equals k. So rewrite it as an equation, a is equal to k b over c. And then plug in the numbers that you are given, or information that you're given. So you know a is 10x plus 5, and you know c is 2, and b is 10. So the next step would be to calculate for k. And you can see that you can reduce this to 5. So the whole equation is 5k is equal to 10x plus 5. Now if you factored the 5 out, you will have 2x plus 1. And then you want to divide both sides by 5 and you'll get your k. So k is equal to 2x plus 1. Now remember, we need to replace this k here. So rewrite the equation as a is equal to 2x plus 1, tuck it in a parentheses, times b over c. Now read the question again and answer the question. What is the value of a when b is 4 and c is 2x plus 1? So a is equal to, remember, 2x plus 1 is a constant, so you keep it there. B gets replaced with 4, and C gets replaced with 2x plus 1. And your answer should be 4. Remember to use your pencil, not a white chalk. How about this problem? You're given a table, list of values here, which represents m, and a list of values which would represent n. The question is, which of the following describes one possible relationship between the values of m and n, shown in the table above? And you have a list of possible variations here. Does n vary directly with m? You test each one. So let's go ahead and test A, or you can just pause the video and try it on your own. So if it's the possibility A, n varies directly with m, then that would be your equation. You want to solve for k, remembering that k is a constant. It doesn't matter what the m and n values are. So k turns out to be m over n. Go ahead and test a few points given. So if m over n would be a quarter for the first one, the second one is 2 over 1, and they should be the same. K is a constant, so k should never change. So it's not A. Test the second one now. N varies inversely with m. Varying inversely with m is n is equal to k over m. So to solve for k, you will have k is equal to n times m. And let's just go ahead and test this. So 4 times 1 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2. They're not equal, so we're going to reject. So we will reject B. Third one. N varies directly as the square of m. N is equal to km squared. Solving for k, you get n over m squared. Plug in a couple of points to see if the answer is the same. So n, let's say 4 over 1 squared is not equal to 1 over 2 squared. So we will reject C. Choice D, n varies inversely. N is equal to k over, inversely means over, square of m. Let's solve for k. K is equal to n times m squared. Plug in the numbers. 4 times 1 squared is 4. 1 times 2 squared is 4. A quarter times 4 squared, which is 16, is again 4. So our answer is D. So that's our correct answer right there. Here's a question. If y equals 1 and x equals 8, and when y equals 4, x is equal to 2, which of the following could express the relationship between x and y? Now, this really calls for your understanding of creating some equations here. And again, you could try and test each one of these possibilities. Please pause your video and try it on your own, or you can work with me. So choice 1, y varies inversely as x, which means y is equal to k over x. Second one is y varies directly as the square of x, so y is equal to kx squared. Third one is y varies directly as x, y is equal to kx. For each one of these choices, we could solve for k. So the first one is k is equal to y times x. Second one is k is equal to y divided by x squared. And the third one is y divided by x. So you have your y value and your x value, and here's another set of y and x value. And when you plug into each of these equations, you should get the same answer for both. So for the first pair, 8 times 1 is 8, and 4 times 2 is also 8. So the first one works. The second one does not work. 1 divided by 8 squared, then that should be 64. 1 divided by 8 squared is not 4 divided by 2 squared, which is 4. And the third one doesn't work either, because 1 divided by 8 is definitely not equal to 4 divided by 2. So the answer is 1 only. It's B. This question says y is inversely proportional to x. Y is 15, x is 5. What is the value of y when x is equal to 25? Let's go ahead and write our equation first. Y, it's inversely proportional, so k over x. Y is given as 15. X is given as 5. So with 75, rewrite the equation with the actual value of k. So y is equal to 75 over x. X is 25. What is the value of y? So y is equal to 75 over 25, and the answer is 3. Correct answer is C. The next question. For a certain hot water heater, the increase in heating expenses is directly proportional to the increase in water temperature setting. If heating expenses increase by $24 when the water temperature setting is increased by 20 degrees Fahrenheit, by how much will the heating expense increase when the water temperature setting is increased by 15 degrees Fahrenheit? Again, break it down into 4 separate steps, write each step down, and then calculate. So let's just go ahead and write the equation. For a certain hot water heater, the increase in heating expense is directly proportional to the increase in water temperature setting. If heating expense increased by $24 and it equals K, when the temperature setting was increased by 20 degrees, we can immediately calculate K, which is 24 over 20, leave it as improper fraction, and just reduce this. So you can use 4 to reduce this. 5 4s are 20, 6 4s are 24, leave it as 6 over 5 for now. Rewrite the equation. H is equal to 6 over 5 times T. Now we can answer the question. By how much will the heating expense increase? And we remember H is the heating expense for us when the water temperature setting is increased by 15 degrees. So just simply keep the K. T changes to 15. You can simply reduce this, and the answer is 18. B. This is the last question. The force of gravity between 2 stars varies inversely as the square of the distance between the stars. If the force of gravity between 2 stars are 4 light years apart, if the force of gravity between two stars that are 4 light years apart is 64 exonewtons, what would the force between stars be if they were 8 light years apart? Again, a lot of words, so we need to break it down into steps. The first step is to read the question and translate the question. The force of gravity between two stars varies inversely as the square of the distance between the stars. Step 2, change the proportionality constant to equals K. So force is equal to K divided by D squared. Step 3, go back and read the question, extract all the information given, and try and solve for K, which is the constant. So the force of gravity between two stars that are 4 light years away is 64. So you know the light years away, you know the distance, and you know the force. You can easily calculate what you don't know, which is K. So 64 times 16 gives you 1024. Once you know what the constant is, you can go back to the original equation and rewrite the equation with the constant value in there, replacing the K. So the new equation becomes force is equal to 1024 divided by D squared. Go back to the question and see what the question is asking. The question is asking for the force between the stars if there are 8 light years away. So we know that the distance is 8. 8 squared is 16. So plugging the numbers in your calculator, you will get force is equal to 16, and the correct answer is D. Very good. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again in my next video. Goodbye.